So today I'm here to talk to you about message ads or conversation ads, what they are, how to use them, and basically how to set them up for success. So why are message ads or conversation ads important? So basically back in the very early days of LinkedIn, you're talking 2013, 2014, message ads and conversation ads were born. They've been around for a long time, and a lot of people just maybe don't realize that they're there. They've always been kind of a staple of a really strong LinkedIn strategy that I've used with many different clients, but a lot of people just haven't really been utilizing them as much as they possibly could have over the last couple of years. One big reason for that was a couple of years back when GDPR came in. They stopped being compliant in the EU, so you could only use non-EU countries for your targeting when doing message ads and conversation ads. So that stopped a lot of global companies from using them, as generally they weren't able to target some of their key countries. So message ads and conversation ads have recently become compliant again in the EU since mid-October. So this is a huge benefit to people who are advertising globally or just in the EU, because you can now use conversation ads and message ads in the same way that people targeting other countries such as the US and the UK have been using them really effectively. For me, they've been a really strong ad format and have always been a key part of the ad campaigns I build for clients. So the first thing you're going to do is go to the LinkedIn ads library. So if you go to the LinkedIn ads library, you will then, as I've shown in a previous video, be able to search for conversation and message ads. So the way to do it is by including one of the macros such as first name. And then generally what I do to find the conversation ads that I want is I will include what they're for. So you can use them for a couple of different use cases. One of the use cases is for content downloads, so ebooks, white papers, case studies. The second is for signups for webinars and events. So both delivering invitations to on-site events as well as online webinars. And then the last one, which has also been a really effective use case, is to drive people to sign up for demos with the sales team. So if you want to search conversation ads for any of those, you can basically put in whatever you want. So content, you can put in webinar, or you can put in demo, and you will then get a whole library of conversation ads that you can take inspiration from for your own brand. So you'll be able to click into them, see the copy, take what you think is good, utilize some of the best practices that you see kind of across the board. So that's how you get some inspiration. Now, how do you build them? So what I'm going to do now is take you through a really quick and easy way of how to set conversation ads up. So what you do is you first go in to create a campaign. So within your campaign group, you then get in and create a campaign. So you can basically choose from a couple of different objectives here, but the main ones that I use are either website visits, when you want people to land on the website and convert on the website, or lead generation. You can also use website conversions. However, I generally prefer to use website visits for most website visit campaigns that I do, even if I want people to convert. So for the sake of this, let's set up a website visits campaign. So once you get into your campaign, name it, and then again choose your objective. So now we're able to target Ireland because it is in the EU, and message ads and conversation ads have become available to the EU again. So you can then remove audience expansion, and then this is where you choose the ad format. So you have all your ad formats, and then you'll have message ads and conversation ads. The difference between message ads and conversation ads is that message ads are generally only one message and they have one CTA. So essentially, if you want people to just visit the website, book a demo, sign up for the webinar with no other action, then you can use message ads. With conversation ads, you can use more CTAs. So you can use 2 or more CTAs, and then you can also have a conversation after the CTA. So for example, you could say, change your message around slightly to something, the content being like, would you like to sign up for a demo based on what I've said, or would you like to sign up for the webinar based on what I've said, yes or no? If they say no, you can give them a little bit more information about why they should sign up, and if they say yes, you can bring them straight to the CTA. So this kind of puts the power a little bit back in the audience's hand, and I generally see better results from conversation ads by giving multiple CTAs and then a little bit of a decision after than I do from message ads. I'm not really sure of the psychology behind that, but that's generally what works for me. So in this case, I'm going to use conversation ads. So I'm not going to do any bidding or budgeting here. So then what you do when you get past the targeting stage and when you've chosen your objectives and you've chosen your ad format of conversation ads, you then create the ad. So first thing you're going to do is name it. And the second thing you can do is choose the sender. So basically, if you're the account admin, you can be the sender of the account. However, what you can also do here is choose other people from the company you work for, or if you work for an agency, choose person from the client you work for. So you have to be connected to them, and then you can basically add the sender using their LinkedIn profile here. So you can search the sender. If you're connected to them, they'll likely come up, and then you can send them a request similar to what you would do for a request for a thought leader ad. Once they've accepted, they will then appear here as someone you can choose as your sender. Then you can choose your subject. So this is really important because this is what basically dictates the open rate. So message ads and conversation ads are on a cost per send basis. So you basically pay for them as soon as you sent them. So open rate is really, really important. So with your subject, you can basically choose a subject that might be enticing. So maybe there's a stat in it. Maybe, it talks about the value of what you're about to speak about that captures the attention. But you can also just leave it blank. And if you leave it blank, it will show the first couple of lines of your conversation ad. So generally, I will leave it blank because your first couple of lines generally use a macro to pull in the audience's first name. So for example, if I was targeting my brother, Brian, for example, it would say, hi, first name, and his first name would be Brian. So in the subject line, you can see, hi, Brian, and then you can basically get a higher open rate because they've seen that you've actually called them out in the message. So for this example, I'm going to leave it blank, but you can include a subject line if you have a really strong one. You can optionally include a creative. You don't have to do that. I don't generally do that. And then you can also include custom footers for terms and conditions, for disclaimers, privacy policy, things like that. Then the next stage is LinkedIn will give you a couple of different templates that you can use for your conversation ads. They generally tend to be quite generic, so I actually always write the conversation ads myself. And then this is where you can write the copy. Once you've clicked blank, you can then write the copy here. So I'll say, hi, first name, which is going to pull in my first name. And then you can say, cool. So really quick conversation ad there. And then you can include a call to action, such as, yes, I am. And then send to website, or add another button saying no, or the generic button of to dismiss the conversation, which is not interesting. So for this, I'm going to use my website as the URL, and then I am going to, let's say we'll add an extra message which will show a next message, and then we can edit the response. It's a great webinar. Okay, so there we have our conversation ad. So you can see the preview here. So it's basically, hi, first name, want to join the webinar. Are you interested? Yes, I am. Maybe not interested. So if they say yes, I am, they'll go straight to the website. If they say maybe, we can tell them why they should and give them another call to action. Or if they say not interested, they'll take away the message. What you do here depends on what your objective is. So if you're trying to get people to sign up for demos, I wouldn't really include many CTAs. I'd probably only include one. So book a demo or not interested. Or if you're getting people to download content, again, I would probably only choose one. So download content or not interested. But for the sake of this example, I'm just going to create our ad here. So now once you have your ad created, you can actually send yourself a message that will come directly into your inbox. So you can edit it here, you can duplicate it, you can remove it, or you can send a test message. We're going to go ahead and click send a test message. Let's do it one more time to make sure. And then you can see in your own inbox here, I have a conversation ad that I can view how it looks, how it appears in the inbox. As I mentioned before, if I don't include the subject, it will include my name in the message, which will probably include open rate. And then it can drive you either to a lead form or it can drive to the website here. So that's how to set up conversation ads. So now you know why conversation ads are important. You know basically how to find some inspiration in the LinkedIn ads library, and you know how to set them up. So the next most important thing is for you to go and do it yourself. So what I do is basically think about what offer you want to use for your own company or for maybe clients you work with, and think about what's a really strong offer that basically you could entice the audience with. Then create your message and then build it in LinkedIn with the specific target audience. Use some of the macros and build a really relevant message for your target audience. Then test it. Set yourself a bid, which is going to be on a cost per send basis. Put a test budget beside it, and then look at things like open rate, look at things like click-through rate, and then if you're using lead forms, look at lead form opens. Generally, if you're using lead forms, you want to have the message so that if people open the lead form, they've basically already made the decision that they want to complete it. So you want to have a really high lead form completion rate. So hopefully that's useful. Get going with your conversation ads. They're now available in the EU. So anytime there's a new update like this, where a new ad format is introduced to a new region or country, it's always a big opportunity. It's not a new ad format, but it hasn't been around for a while. So it's definitely going to be an opportunity for you. So I'd encourage you to test it as much as you possibly can in the coming weeks, and hopefully it helps you end your year well. Thanks a lot. I'm Rob Muldoon. Speak to you in the next one.